Charles Soule completes his Crimson Dawn trilogy with this final issue of Hidden Empire, rounding out not just a through line through his trilogy, but also surprisingly a lot of the Star Wars ongoing Bounty Hunter and Dr. Aphra stories. It's a big ask to bring all of this together, but Soule does it in such a satisfying way, and a way that also adds even more depth to the Empire's downfall in Return of the Jedi. The Aphra inclusion thoroughly surprised me though, since it put the character in a quite unique situation, which is her being saved by the one person who legitimately terrifies her, Darth Vader. So her series getting to take a unique turn like that with her dealing with that knowledge is quite interesting, and I'm very much looking forward to it. The twist with the Fermata cage I know is going to upset a lot of people who thought it contained some Sith like Revan or Marco Ragnos or just someone, you know, that is a remember berry, but I love that it was all just one big lie by Kira to lure out Palpatine and Vader, using their craving for power and knowledge of the dark side to set up their downfall. Kira also surviving into the post-Return of the Jedi universe is interesting and a great end to her character. She finally got out of the underworld that had kept her inside for like her entire life, and I like that she was able to pass that on to Cadlia as well, a character who, when she first appeared in Ethan Sachs's Bounty Hunter series, was just like a plot device. The Bounty Hunters had to take her away and hide her, and now she then developed into this character who's kind of turned into her own version of Kira and is given a chance to get out much like Kira. So I'm very intrigued to see what they do with Cadlia in the Bounty Hunter book. And I also like that Kira actually got a happy ending. I quite enjoy that if this is all we see of her and she doesn't appear anywhere else and she just disappears off into the universe, that's really cool. I'm glad she got a happy ending. Stephen Cummings also finishes up the series in a grand way, bringing all of this chaos together in some really fun action set pieces and really beautiful double-page spreads, just teeming with colour, pairing purples and pinks with earthy tones and dark blacks just to make it so visually interesting. Hidden Empire issue 5 was a fantastic culmination to Charles Soule's Crimson Dawn trilogy, collecting together all of his story arcs and rounding out a lot of the leftover questions he had, while delivering a satisfying and oddly happy ending to one specific character. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Hidden Empire issue 5 finds Palpatine telling Vader that while the galaxy is vast and he must rule from a distance through proxies, promises, and threats, he does admit he has missed this as he cuts through the Dawn's soldiers. The Dawn captain tells his squad to switch to melee weapons, but that does little to stop Vader and the Emperor's advances. Madeline tells Kira that the Fermata cage is about to open and she knows the Sith are on their way, not intending to get caught between the warring Sith Lords. Kira understands and her soldiers will hold them off as long as they can, and if they can't, someone else is on their way. Palpatine tells Vader to stop toying with the men beneath them, and Vader obeys, killing the soldiers instantly as they venture into the garden, sensing that the cage is opening. Palpatine states that the cage was never used lightly, so whatever is inside is incredibly powerful, as the Sith are both confronted by the Spark Eternal possessed Dr. Aphra. The possessed being says that they know everything Aphra knows, feeling she is terrified of the Dark Lords, but seeing the beings, the Spark can see that they are just merely mortal men. Vader can tell Aphra is possessed, so Palpatine tells him to deal with it and then join him at the Fermata cage, since something is coming and he is needed. Aphra says that Kira told her that Palpatine and Vader would be there, and this wasn't an opportunity she could pass up. She reveals the Null Blade, a weapon of the Ascendant, wondering if Vader knows what it does. She duels with Vader, telling him that the weapon makes him weak. Aphra bests Vader, pushing him back, but Vader stops his fall, violently force-pushing the Spark Eternal out of Aphra's body as he calls her weak. The Spark Eternal escapes down the hallway as Vader activates his lightsaber, looking to kill Aphra, but a strong wind blows him back, giving Aphra a second to escape into the jungle. She yells to Vader to hurry up as the Dark Lord joins his master, who gleefully tells Vader to stand with him and face this incredible power, so they might triumph over it. The cage fully opens, but a small coin falls out of it, confusing the Sith. Madeline, in the ship above the station, spots the Sith are in position and their plan works, as Kira tells her friend that they will now win, as Palpatine realizes there was never actually anything in the cave, and it was just a trap as Madeline closes the cage, trapping Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine in it. The Archivist celebrates her win, but Kira knows they aren't done yet, wanting the cage sealed and thrown into a nearby star, just for good measure. On the outskirts of the battle, the Knights of Ren arrive in the Night Buzzard, spotting what is happening with Vader and Palpatine. The Knights are impressed that Kira got this far, but Ren knows that Palpatine will win, and when he does, he'll be hunting Kira and them as well. So the only chance they have is to become friends with the Sith. He opens fire on the Famata cage, blowing open the cage and freeing the Sith. The resulting shockwave sent out blows up most of Crimson Dawn's ships. As in orbit, Kira contacts who is left, mournfully telling them that she has failed them and they are to scatter and find new lives. The Empire, though, won't let Crimson Dawn go so easily, told by Admiral Piet to let no one survive. Kira manages to escape the area as Palpatine retrieves the Famata cage, sensing a great rending in the Force, one that has weakened his hold on the Force itself. Vader wonders who freed them as the Spark Eternal appears, disappearing into the coin that fell from the Famata cage. The Sith meanwhile are confronted by the Knights of Ren, who reveal that they have freed them from the cage. Palpatine thinks that he was to show them mercy now, and Ren knows that's exactly why they did it. However, Palpatine shocks them with his Force lightning, telling them that they are mistaken and now they serve him. He tells Vader to follow him since this is all beneath them. Back on Cataract Base, Cadlia plays the message from Kira, who states that she has 3 gifts for the young woman and she knows she saw so much of herself in her. She says the first gift is knowledge, hoping the young girl was paying attention since she had her brought to her so she could learn firsthand the choices someone in Kira's position has to make. The second gift is resources, signing over all of Crimson Dawn's credits to Cadlia, and that leads to the third gift, which is something Kira never got, a choice. Since with the credits, Cadlia can now go and live the life she sees fit and be her own person. Kira states that she doesn't know if she won or lost, but she could never free herself from this life, but now she knows one way or another she has freed Cadlia from this life. Years later, Madeline's holocron tells the hooded beings that Crimson Dawn fell during the battle and she never heard from Kira again after that, making the archivist lament how she came so close, yet she failed, and she spent so much time considering why. Madeline thinks that it was because even with all her power, influence, and resources, Kira never trusted anyone or had faith, and was all alone. The hooded beings are revealed to be Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa, who thinks that this story is a little too much to believe. Luke doesn't think that Kira failed at all though, since because of her actions, Bevelin and Melton, 2 of her agents who revealed to the rebellion the construction of the second Death Star, succeeded in their mission, and without them, it would have been completed and the rebellion would have been destroyed. Leia agrees that the Syndicate War did keep Palpatine busy long enough for them to regroup with the Rebel fleet and prepare. Luke thinks that nothing happens in a vacuum and everything touches everything else, so Kira did save the galaxy from the Sith, just not in the way she thought she would. Leia wishes that Kira had come to them and wishes that the woman was alive to see them win. Across the galaxy, celebrations break out thanks to the fall of the Empire. A cantina's patrons cheer and hug each other as in a darkened booth behind them, Kira sits alone, unconcerned with the galaxy celebrating around her.